Hi, this is Stan Lee, and I think it's time that we talk about the Mighty Thor. You know, it's funny. I had created a number of superheroes for Marvel, and I worked mainly with a wonderful artist named Jack Kirby. And one day, Jack and I were talking. We wanted to do another hero, and Jack said, well, what can we do now? We've got the Hulk, who's the strongest guy in the world, and we have Spider-Man, who climbs walls, blah, blah, blah. Who can we get that's even bigger and better and stronger? And it occurred to me, the only thing we could do, perhaps, is come up with a god. I thought it would be fun to make a god a hero. So I'm not the world's greatest authority on gods, but I brushed up a little on the Roman gods, and I said, we've seen a lot of them. Looked into the Greek gods, well, everybody knows them. And then I stumbled on the Norse gods, and I realized they're not as well known. So I was reading about them, and then I came across the Mighty Thor, god of thunder. And I liked the idea that he could create storms, that he was one of the strongest, if not the strongest, of all the Norse gods. And I especially liked the idea that he had a hammer. And I figured, what a weapon. Not a gun, it's not a knife, it's not a bomb, a hammer. I'm lucky it wasn't a screwdriver. It could have been a pair of pliers. But I think a hammer is really dramatic. Now, I want to show you how scientific we were at Marvel Comics. I needed a method for Thor to fly, to go from Asgard, which is the home of the gods, to the Earth. I didn't want him to just say, I think I'll get going, and bingo, we see him fly. If you ever thought about it, Superman flies with no visible means of propulsion. But I wanted Thor to have a real method of flying. So I figured he'll take his hammer and put a little leather thong and wrap it around his wrist. And then he'll swing the hammer very fast, like a propeller. And when it gets going at top speed, he'll let it go. Now the hammer will go flying off, but because the thong is tied to his wrist, it'll pull him along with it. So you see, everything I ever wrote was scientifically sound, and nobody could criticize it or fault it. And speaking of criticizing and faulting, I hope you won't find any fault with the cartoons you're about to see. I envy you the fun you're going to have. Enjoy.